Playing Possum Podcast.
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 Playing Possum Podcast. Hello,
Alright.
Possum.
We're back. It's almost as if we never left.
How are y'all doing?
Well, I'm good.
Yeah, good.
How about you?
I am feeling overwhelmed by the quantity of things I feel like I need to accomplish in the next short amount of time. But it's all self-imposed deadlines, so yeah. But I started working 2 days a week at a hardware store downtown, and so I have 2 fewer days a week to get done what I want done. So yes, I've felt very time compressed recently.
How's the new job?
It's good. It's very interesting. Like, I feel like it's like there's a lot of like people watching. There's also like, I think this is kind of an interesting thing about, I don't know, retail maybe, or I've been practicing understanding that people's reaction doesn't have anything to do with me or my value in the world. But like, I've had people like throw merchandise at me, not like as like they're trying to hit me with it, but like when they're checking out, they're kind of like, yeah, I think that there's like a certain type of customer who experiences people who are working in service industries as the help, right? And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, I mean, I think also like having people, you know, some people want help and some people don't want help. And again, like that doesn't necessarily mean anything about me, or like they don't, you know, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's been a really good exercise in me, like letting go of people's reaction. You know, so that, you know, like, and like I am like a female bodied person helping people in a hardware store, and then I also have like very tall male colleagues, and it's interesting to see how certain people like don't really want me to help them, but then also like vice versa. I think they experience the same thing where it's like certain people don't want them to help them, and yeah, so it's just been kind of fun to kind of experience like societal issues in a microclimate of a hardware store.
What's the demographic like of your clientele? Like, who do you see the most of coming into a hardware store?
It's kind of all over the map, actually. Like, that piece is really interesting. Is like, because it's downtown, it's like yeah, all over the map. We get a lot of downtown businesses, like the bike shop comes in a lot. There's a lot of like people who do building maintenance that come in a lot downtown, and it was closed and it reopened, so like a lot of people have been really stoked about that. So the energy has been really high around that, and it's a very historic building, and it was a historic hardware store. It's been a hardware store for like 160 some years in that space. So yeah.
That's wild. 160 years?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's cool.
It's exciting. So,
Yeah.
do you feel challenged to get your own work, time with your own work, or?
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of having to like renegotiate my schedule and figure that out. In some ways, I feel like actually having some structure is helping me, but in some ways it feels like just compressed, and so I'm kind of having to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Are you finding it like hard to really concentrate when you do have time to actually work on your own work?
I feel like that has actually improved. Like, I'm like, when I have time, I'm like, I feel more like like my business partner Nat is a full-time like stay-at-home dad and caretaker, and like when he has time, like I feel like he has like the strength of a superhuman to complete projects because he has such like small time. And so I feel like I'm trying to like sort of like cultivate that energy of like, all right, you've got like 2 hours, so you have to complete 45 projects.
Yeah, I feel that. I appreciate the time to dilly-dally, but I also do not always have the most time just because of like everything going on. So I'd kind of mentioned before, like off the show, that I had a little staycation where I pretty much just like hung out in my studio, and it was like, I mean, I was so ready to kind of like get back out into the real world afterwards, but I was super stoked on how focused I was able to be because I got most of a painting done, and I'm not a painter, so it was very slow going, and I've got an article out for my Substack, and then also had started on like several other kind of like stories and essays, and I felt like, man, like my superhuman power like kicked in, because it's like I have this finite amount of time, I have to like get some stuff done. But I think it's almost freeing to have a finite amount of time. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is
Don't
true of
think.
like, yeah, like I think sometimes like when you have too much time, like it almost like it's paralyzing or something. Like it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why
I feel like,
deadlines help.
yeah, deadlines help, and also I think Jamie has said it several times on the show, of just like creating stuff while you have time, and like then just move on to the next thing, and I feel like that's also another practice that I've been trying to like consider when I do have some time to make things, because then it's just like, well, there'll just be something else next, in a week, or whenever after this is done, there's always something else to do, so just like get it done, and like it is what it's going to be. I don't know if that's necessarily like the sentiment you're trying to get across, Jamie, but that's how I've interpreted it in my own work.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I have my painting kind of breaks down to where like there's some preparatory phases, and then towards the end, like have to be really engaged and actually work and paint, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the beginning part where it's like I'm just charcoaling, it's mindless, and I can have something on and not really pay attention, like something on television or something. So the piece that I'm working on now, this big macro of a magnolia, I'm past all the stages where I don't have to think, and so now I have to use my brain, and I have to be present, and I have to work, and it's not the same joy. But getting close to finishing one is joyous for sure. It'll be nice to put this one behind me. So trying to wrap up this summer, put a bow on it, a few more things I want to get done. But
Nice.
it's going quick. It is August 2025.
For sure. I think I was able to also like rein that idea in when it came to video creation, because Kat and I had a chance to work on another video together. Like famously, the last time we made a video, it took me a year of post production time, and this was actually very quick in comparison. It was like a 2 week turnaround, because it was like, you know what, like let's just do it. And I think the beauty of it came down to it not being polished at all.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was like I feel like it was interesting because we had a conversation of I was like, oh, well, like I need to have people there, and it needs to be this serious thing. And then you're like, what if you just wore a mustache and we made it like ridiculous? And I was like, okay, and it was perfect. Like I think it like switched the energy of like this thing that needs to be like I don't know, but like the interesting thing is like, so we made basically like a safety video for the shop, and I wanted to send it out. Like I wanted it done quickly because I wanted to send it out to the queer woodworking class I just started in like last week or 2 weeks ago or something, and so it was like, okay, well I feel like this funny video will be like, like the energy of this will be fun for this class, but it's interesting because I've sent it out to other people, and like it's so silly and so ridiculous, but like they've been taking away like the actual safety messages that I want people to take away. And so it's interesting because I think if I had made it more serious and really, like I think it would have been less effective.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty cool too about it. It's like sometimes like the vision you have in your head is, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the silliness allowed for there to be moments that people related to, or like could engage with. Like I think about moments like when you're on the jointer and then you're like, hey Norm, and it's like or like mangled, and then thinking about that while doing things, like it's kind of like a mental callback. And
Yeah,
so,
I thought the other thing that was fun, like we chatted about it afterwards, and like I think we've worked together enough and like collaborated enough that like it was like we were able to like sort of follow each other in this creative like ridiculousness and like feel comfortable being really silly with each other, and like that it was like so natural. Like I don't know, yeah, it's very we'll link to the video in the show notes. Basically, it's a safety video, and I like embody this different character.
possessed.
Some kind of possessed. Once Casey gave me the mustache, I was possessed by this other version of myself, the drag woodworker inside of me. And it was just super fun. And like, yeah, like it took a lot of the pressure off of that. And then like, you know, like all of the knowledge that was inside of me that I wanted to share came out, but it, you know, it didn't have to be there, just the pressure was off around it. And
Well, it's a great contrast between, you know, sharing very pertinent, important information, serious information, and doing it in such a non-serious way. Bravo.
yeah.
Have you gotten a chance to watch it?
Yes. Well, I've seen clips of it. Oh my god, I don't even know. Somebody reminds me of their daddy, which tickled me so much. I was like, oh my god, this is so funny. So funny. The costume was perfect. Catherine has always loved the costume. I mean, as long as I can remember. She had this really scary Freddy mask in her basement. Was it your brother probably?
Yeah, Brian dressed up as Freddy one Halloween for sure.
Yeah, scary. Yeah.
So freaky.
Give her a
Yeah, but no, we had a whole costume. Like the basement was just like it was unfinished, and like there was like this whole costume area that I had set up for myself to be able to like change into my different costumes. And like, but like as an adult we have a costume box too. And like I was talking to somebody and they were like, I was like, oh yeah, don't you like, what do you have in your costume box? And they were like, what costume box? And I was like, they were something like, I can't believe you have a costume box. And I was like, I can't believe you don't have a costume box. Like, how the fuck do you like operate when you need a costume like short notice?
Grab a roll of toilet paper and be a bride or a mummy.
I think that should have been like one of the classic signs that you were meant to do art, is because you just like could not help yourself but have a costume box.
Yeah. And my best friend, her mom called my mom because she was like, when Catherine comes over, her and Susan change clothes so much that I then have to do like all this laundry. So you need to talk to her. Like she can't change, you know, they can't be changing clothes this much. Like, you know, so, yeah, I definitely like changing clothes a lot.
I love it.
Maybe do you think I have multiple personality disorder? And I'm like, ooh, a different personality. No, I'm just kidding. And I'm not like, I actually don't know anything about multiple personality disorder. And so I'm sorry if you have it. And I'm sure it's a struggle. And I'm all for mental health. But I do think sometimes
I think you enjoy trying on other identities, you know? I mean, that's what play is about. That's what being a kid is about, you know, is trying on all the things. And yeah, I mean, that's the part I enjoyed the most about it. I mean, it's like, it's very you. It's very you.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like such kudos to Casey for like keeping a straight face. Like, there were these moments where like, so like there's like I held up a sign upside down and I didn't even know that I held it upside down. And Casey's just like, "Yep, I got it." Like, you know. I feel like like you did an amazing job just being like, I don't know.
I thought it was supposed to be upside down, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like being in the creative flow together was so fun. Of just like,
and I feel like the thing I was most amazed about was that it was all in one take. Like every time we set up, it was just one and done, and that was so epic for me as an editor. But I was like super stoked that you were able to just get it done. Also thinking about nothing dangly. You like were like, your hair is your shirt's tucked in. Dangly equals dangerous.
Yeah, see, you remembered. It's so great. Like, I love it.
Where does the video live? Where can we access it? Is it on Highlands YouTube or?
It's on Plain Possum Collective's YouTube.
We stole it.
Nice.
We were thinking about doing a whole series as well. I'm kind of on the fence of like giving all of our ideas away, but I just, the sandpaper one has been like living in my head rent free, because picture this: the camera's walking down a dark hallway and then opens a door, and then there's this man with a big blonde mustache sitting on the toilet and holds up a piece of old sandpaper is like, if you feel comfortable using this as toilet paper, it's time to throw it away.
Yeah, I have a lot of opinions about sandpaper because people will use sandpaper and I'll find it like on a sander and I'm like, was someone sanding with this? Like it's the most ineffective thing because all of the grit is gone. And so I was joking with Casey and I was like, people can use this as toilet paper. And so then we just like went down this rabbit hole of like another video. So yeah, no promises because I don't want to be boxed in, but it's possible there will be a series of these videos if we can get our shit together. So
Yeah, keyword getting the shit together.
finding enough mustaches to because I don't know that they're like multiple use, but I did save it, so we'll see.
We could get like that spray adhesive that like graphic designers would use back in the day.
No.
Maybe like that glue stick, that like the movable glue that's in the glue stick.
How about just like double stick tape, maybe?
Or double stick tape, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not putting spray adhesive on my face. That sounds terrifying.
To me, that just tells me how committed you actually are to this craft.
Oh my god, so silly. Yes. What else? What have y'all? Okay, let's play Truth or Possum. And what are you can say Possum if you don't want to answer and play dead, or you can say Truth. But I'm curious what we had a conversation with an artist that you have hopefully heard, and if you haven't heard, it's with Anne McGrattan, and but it was our last episode, and they were talking about hiding and doing work. And so I'm curious if somebody, like if there's a project that you're working on right now that you're hiding, and you don't have to necessarily describe it, but maybe what process you're in or where. So I could think of one in particular for myself, but yeah. Casey, Truth or Possum?
Truth. There are several essays I'm working on right now that I think I'm very unsure of, like if like when I finish them, if I want to show them to the world, because I feel like it's on the edge of like being too vulnerable. One of them, I feel like I'm scared to share because I feel like there could be blowback of being like Casey's insensitive to bodily functions. But I feel like I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like people at this community college that I work at, we won't give the name, they have no shame and will just blow up these public bathrooms. And
They need to work.
The other day, I like went into this bathroom, and this person that was in the ladies' room had their toes out in the very first stall, just meeting it up in there. And I was so taken aback, and it made me like I just started this whole essay of like the last 5 or 6 years that I've been there, like how many times I've like had been confronted with people's bodily functions. So yeah, I'm kind of possuming on that. And I know that sounds like kind of silly, but I'm like 100% serious. Yeah, the other one just
and I really want to read it now.
I knew you were talking about your love of David Sedaris, and that's got his MO like all over it.
I think, you know, an air of like, how can I talk about something that's like not vulnerable but kind of silly and affects me? Because the other one's the opposite, where I'm thinking about this time that I had. Well, actually, it was a very recent time, maybe a month ago, but I've been really just stewing on it, where I opened up an old journal that I found from like the 8th grade or so, and the very first page is outlining this encounter I was having with an online pedophile, and how in the early 2000s it was like a real Beetlejuice situation. Like if you said online pedophile to a teenage girl 3 times, like surely an online pedophile would like find their way into their MySpace DMs. And I feel like that's just very vulnerable to talk about. And then because it just, I think, goes down like a whole series of like how we treat young women and like, you know, teenage girls in our culture, and just thinking about like experiences I had as like a young person. So one feels very vulnerable because it's like very like close to my heart, and one feels vulnerable because I don't want people to think that like I'm anti pooping.
Yeah, well, every poop is a gift. My wife always says every poop is a gift, but it is like interesting. Like I feel like we should have like a white noise machine in public bathrooms or something. Like something where it's just like the people who are having their event can have some privacy, and the people who are like experiencing that can have some, like, because it is intense to like
The
be in
quiet
that space.
echo of a bathroom, like, I mean, it's like putting a microphone up to your butt, you know? It's like, and everybody has to hear it, and then God forbid everybody has to experience it in all the ways that it's experienced.
And then to pretend it's not happening because they hold it while everyone else is in there.
Right.
Oh yeah, or like you happen to be washing your hands when that person comes out, and you just have to like act like you didn't just
Totally
like,
change the
or
clock air.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I've always felt stalls should go all the way from floor to ceiling, and they should each have their own individual fan on the inside. And the same with the doors.
Yes.
It's your business, and I don't want to participate in your business or take anything away from your experience, and I don't want any part of your experience either.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you
And
need
I
to
don't want like their feet incriminating them later.
be
I
darn.
know.
Be like, okay, got it. Yeah, the one in the Crocs is the one that hit the high note.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, don't sleep on that essay. I think people have a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we can work on it after this.
We might release like an essay on just bodily functions, because we have talked about this before, like when we're not recording, and I feel like we all have some poop stories that could be shared with the world. I have one in particular from when I was a river guide that's I've always wanted to write about. So yeah, maybe challenge
Oh, yeah.
accepted to write about bodily functions.
I'm so in.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think also like that, I think you should release both of those things, because I think probably a lot of people would get a lot out of reading the second essay sort of about that experience of being online. And yeah, you know, I am a little bit older than you just by 5 minutes, and so I didn't have as much of that experience, but I think it's really important, and I think we failed a generation of people that had access to online, and the protections weren't there, and in a lot of ways they're still not, but they are better than they used to be, and I feel like you kind of fell squarely in that generation that really wasn't protected around that.
Yeah, totally. And I know I mean, even if I don't publish it fully, I'd love to like get some feedback on it, because I feel like there are some literary gems for my own personal work that I would love just someone else to read. So
Cheryl,
yeah,
I will happily read anything you send my way.
thank you. Right, Truth or Possum, Jamie? What about you? Anything you're hiding?
I do. I'm sitting on a secret. No, yeah. So anyone that's been following us, and y'all of course know that my work has like a writing component or element to it. Like I'll paint about something, and then I'll inevitably usually write about it as well. And they take the form of short stories, so they're not terribly long, although some are probably longer than most have the patience for. Been working on something that is longer format that I refuse to like name or speak out loud, because I don't want expectations of others to interfere with me getting it done. Like when we were talking with Anne about that 80% threshold that you reach, you know, I haven't quite made it to 80%, but yeah, I got a story to tell, and I'm getting there. I've outlined the whole thing. I hate to even say what year I started doing it, but I used to go on Mondays. Our local brewery here in Nashville, Mississippi, has a $2 pint night. It was $2, now it's half price. And I would go on Monday nights and sit in a quiet, dark corner and outline my story. So it's fully outlined, and I've started writing it. But yeah, it takes a backseat to everything else. I'm going to get there at some point, but I'm hesitant to talk about it a whole lot. But yeah,
That's fair.
I got stuff I'm not showing nobody. Just kidding.
Wouldn't that be something if it was poop related though, and we both just happen to be working on poop things?
Two shit stories. I wish we could share ours, but I just can't. I can't share mine, unfortunately. To protect the guilty. All right.
That's totally fair.
Kat Edmonds, truth or possum? What are you sitting on?
The toilet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like one thing, like, I don't know, I'm like, do I really go to my deep, dark secret? But one of the things I've been sitting on, I have projects that I need to finish, but like, I think there's one, well, there's some writing that Jamie and I did a like week long sort of hangout and at the beach in South Carolina, and that was like over a year and a half ago, and I still haven't publish that stuff, so that would be good to get out. And I definitely have some, I don't know if it's necessarily like fear, or I don't know what the block on that one is for me. But I'd say like around the same time as I was working on that stuff, like sort of this other work has bubbled up. Well, yeah, I think like it's interesting too. Like, I don't know if y'all experience this, but like, I feel like I'll kind of get these like creative forks almost, like that all kind of come up at the same time. And then like you feel like you have a lot of energy and like ideas and stuff. And then you kind of end up taking one road and going down that road. And then like those other sort of strands end up kind of hanging there. And then you don't take them, but then you end up kind of circling back to them. But one that kind of fell off for me, that I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, do I really want to talk about this? But I think I am interested because I applied to do a show. I was declined, but I'm a sexual assault survivor, and I'm interested in kind of exploring that through work. And I have like sort of the work already drawn out and the ideas and stuff, but like doing that work feels really intense and vulnerable and scary. But I feel kind of, I think, ready to like have it out in the world, but I haven't really started on any of it. And I think I've really gone down this fork of like the gender outlaws stuff and taking that where I want to be. And I think actually like I think what's interesting in that process is like, I think a lot of times you have to do, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but it's like, I think doing the gender outlaws stuff has kind of helped me feel confident in an aspect of my life that it's like, okay, now I have this confidence and now I could come back to this other idea that kind of came up around the same time, but I needed to sort of take this road and get farther down, and then I could come back. And so yeah, I don't know when I'll pick that up, but it's something I'm very interested in doing and sort of putting out in the world.
Nice.
Well, do you have like some sort of timeline like that you're preparing to kind of like execute that or like revisit it, or is it just going to be like when it comes back, it comes back?
15 to 100 years. I'm just
Perfect.
kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I am gonna, hopefully I'm in conversation with the Corvallis Museum about doing sort of launching the Gender Outlaws stuff in September, on September 18th. Feel free to save the date. And I think after that, I'm going to have a lot of space. And so I think I think I'll have a lot of space and a lot of energy to sort of come to that work with a different lens, hopefully, of what that would look like.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the September 18th.
Well, it's still kind of in conversation, but I think I'm going to do there's like a Thursday, first Thursday, or that's obvious, second Thursday, third Thursday art walk in Corvallis. And it's kind of downtown, spaces open and people can walk around from 4 to 7. And so I think I'm going to be sort of like the artist at the museum that Thursday and do an artist talk. And they're sort of interested in a conversation around collaboration and creativity, and so we should be there with playing Possums, and also Highland Woodshop I think will be there. And then after 7 o'clock we're going to have a little launch party for the Gender Outlaws Western Wear line, and Harriet, Janet, and Sheila, my queer worms, will be the spokesworms at the event. So yeah, it should be fun. I hope it happens, and I will definitely share when I know more stuff about the event, but yeah.
Cool. Can't wait.
Snaps.
Yeah.
Snaps for everyone.
Yeah.
What was that?
I
Say
said
snaps for everybody.
for everyone. What? 3 snaps in a
Yeah.
circle? That was 4.
Nice.
Kids of a certain age might remember a show called In Living Color, and they had a segment called Men on Films, and they would review films. Remember them?
I
It was,
remember Living Color.
I think, David Allen Greer and one of the Wayans brothers. I can't remember which one it was. And
Okay.
they were obviously straight men playing gay men, and they were reviewing like whatever was out at that time. I think it was early 90s. Maybe I can't remember what it was. I'm trying to
I
think.
do remember this, yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be something comes out like Die Hard or Rambo, and they'd be like, hated it. Something else would come out, it'd be like, I don't know, like Death Becomes Her, which, is Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep, and they'd be like, loved it.
It's basically the original Bald and Beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty much, basically. It's like Siskel and Ebert, but with two black men, 2 gay black men. So
We have been rewatching a different.
I love the world and where you come from.
It's so good, and it's like
Ooh,
I just feel
Jalise.
like, yeah, it's so good.
What's it on right now? What are you streaming it through?
Netflix?
Netflix?
I think Netflix, but honestly, I couldn't say. We have Netflix and Apple TV, I think, right now is what we're paying.
Are you a
for, so.
Denise or are you a Whitley?
Oh my god, I went to college with so many Whitleys. But
I love Jasmine. Friend of the pod.
yeah.
Hey, Jasmine.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's Netflix.
For whatever happened
Yeah.
to Sinbad, because he was on there, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, and what's his name? Theo from The Cosby Show just recently died. Very
Broke
sad.
my heart. Yeah, I was so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
All right.
Got caught in a riptide.
Yeah, big part of my
Be
childhood.
careful. Swim sideways.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, that was my understanding. So, yeah, swim sideways. If you get caught in a riptide, swim sideways, because if you try to swim against it, it's too much. But if you swim sideways, you'll get out of the rip current. So, safety tip.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go in
But,
past your knees.
or what?
Don't go in
Don't
past.
go in past your knees. Yes. Both good safety tips. Yeah.
You can still get wet on the side. Sit in the sand, make a castle.
Yeah, just lay down on the shore. Let the waves touch you. Yeah. I don't know what. Oh, I was talking about A Different World and rewatching that, and just how amazing In Living Color and A Different World were, and I just like a lot of those actors didn't go on to have a lot more like career opportunities, and so much of it is just because they didn't get opportunities because they were black, and it was just. Yeah, you think about their colleagues in the same time frame, and just that were white, and like, yeah. So I was just, Marcy and I were talking about that, of just, like you were saying, Jasmine Guy, is that her name, that played Whitley? Like, she is comic gold.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I saw her on a podcast recently, and I don't think that it was taped recently. I think I just caught it, and she was basically talking about the so few opportunities that came along, because they were praising her. The hosts were praising her for just the quality of her work and her comedic timing and what she could do with just the face and everything. And she was like, "Call me, I'm ready to work." And it's like,
Yeah.
there's hopefully, I'm sure it's limited still, but so many different kinds of stories are being told where they weren't 20, 25, 30.
Yeah.
True with queer stories too. I feel like it was just
Yes.
party to a conversation about, how do you feel as a gay person about non-queer people playing queer roles. I'm open to it. I mean, so long as queer people can play straight roles, then,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like also there's been like a quieting down of like independent queer filmmaking. Like I can think of like so many that were like in the 90s and the early 2000s, like movies that came out about like queer love stories, like The Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls in Love and All Over Me and
But I'm a cheerleader.
Huh?
But I'm a cheerleader.
Oh yeah, But I'm a Cheerleader. I don't know, I forgot that one.
Jeffrey.
And
was originally a stage play. Sorry.
Yeah, Clea Duvall. Oh, that was so good. And what is her name? She's in Yellow Jackets as well. Anyway, so many like good independent films being made back then that we just don't have the same like representation or like the stories being told, or at least I'm not privy to it.
Well, I mean, you do have like the fact that Heartstopper exists is kind of huge to me. That we're talking about minors, we're talking about high schoolers, that it's a queer love story between like the high school jock and the high school art freak or whatever, but also that there's a trans female character and it's like it doesn't have that token feeling, which was so common of those 90s stories that were being told, like if it wasn't a gay movie about gay people, then like the gay character like on 90210 would have to be so gay, so I see progress and stuff like that. I think that's awesome that there's a high school show about gay kids, trans kids and stuff. Like we didn't have that. I guess Dawson's Creek had a gay character, but I think I was in college by the time that came. I don't know. I don't think I was in high school.
Yeah. Gosh, I remember watching that show, but now I can't remember that character.
902, no, not there was 90210. Melrose Place had a gay character. But then, of course, they were always positive. Like, they were always dying of AIDS, Like, which those stories actually told as well, but it was like, it was like they needed to check all the boxes to make sure it made it to film, or made it to television.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing is, like, having queer joy and, like I think that's the interesting thing about Heartstopper or some of these other things. And that's what I think about, like, rewatching Different World is, like, watching Black joy of, like, the Black experience at a historically Black college or university and, like, just those, like, that it's, like, it doesn't have to, like, I think, yes, talk about the struggles, but then also, like, that, like, there's, like, joy and, all of these, like, the range of experience versus, because I think when you only see tragedy and struggle, I think what that does, especially to parents, which I think is, like, kind of unique to the queer experience, because, like, Black parents can't be like, hey, like, don't be Black, right? Like, that's not an option. But for some reason, parents of queer kids say, why don't you hide who you are, right? Because it's something that is believed that you can change about yourself. And so it's like when parents or people see only tragedy and they don't see queer joy and they don't see this experience of, like, that's why for me it's very important for me to be, like, out and open about my relationship with Marcia, and for people to see that there's, like, oh, this is, like, a relationship that's happy and joyful, and also be honest about the struggles, but, like, that, it's not all tragedy, because if that's what you see and that's what you think your child is going to experience, then you're going to be like, don't do that. That looks horrible, versus being like, oh, like, look at this relationship that this person is in high school, and they're happy and they're having fun and they're feeling self-actualized and all of those things. And, versus, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling, but I think that is part of the issue of not showing joy and non-straight white culture, right? Like, that's, like, like, I've heard Quinta Brunson, who does Abbott Elementary, talk about wanting to do, like, similar comedies to, like, Will Ferrell and these sort of, like, silly 90s comedies that, like, like, that's like, like Happy Gilmore 2 just came out, and that's from that same era. And, like, yeah, just sort of seeing silly, joyful, stupid things in all aspects of the spectrum of people that we have in our world. And, like,
It's like honoring their wholeness.
Yeah. I remember watching, I think it's Happiest Season, maybe, which is like a queer, silly Christmas movie. And I watched it with some straight people, and they were like, this is silly, or this is, like, lowbrow, or whatever. Like, they said something about it. And I was like, yeah, like, that's the point, is, like, I want to be able to watch a silly, like, just like you get to go watch silly Christmas movies, like, I want to be able to watch one where I feel seen and represented in it. Like, I like silly, cheesy Christmas movies. Like, that's a genre I like.
Yeah, and the fact that it's cheese is, like, what we get out of it. My Aunt Paula loves the Hallmark Channel. She said, I know it's going to end happily, and that's what I want. I don't care that it's cheese 90 minutes through. So, and with those kind of stories, like, yeah, it's not about how gay they are. It's about Christmas.
Yeah. Oh my God, we have found a queer, so talking about queer independent stuff, I think it's called Trello or something like that. And they are making cheesy Hallmark movies with queer characters, and that there's like a formula for it. And it's like a city person comes to the rural area and finds the person, and like they're really busy, and then they spend time with the person on the ranch, and then they realize that they've been missing their lives, and they
But
fall
there's
in love.
conflict, and oh no, he's got to get back to the city to do his big important job. Oh,
Yes,
could
it's
he
always a big
thing
important
for
job.
love? Is it possible?
Yes, yes, exactly. So my friends and I have watched this, like they release one Christmas movie a year, and it's so bad and it's so cheesy, and we have watched them for the last few years around Christmas time.
What was the one that was so Jingle All the Way? I think it was on Netflix.
Yes.
Jennifer Coolidge. She was obviously the best part. I think Kathy Najimy was in it. I'm naming everyone except for the main characters. Yeah. Oh, you and I watched the movie together, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like a plant. They open a plant. Oh, no, I don't want to give it away. Never mind. No spoilers. Yeah. It's quite good. See it if you haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that, yeah, but just to drive home the same point, it is cheesy. Double dipped, super deep fried, cheese whiz, queso, shredded, Swiss. It's cheesy. Yeah, it's excellent cheese. It's good cheese.
Yeah, we need to get we should get a act person.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Probably Jennifer Coolidge on here.
Oh.
Friend of the pod. Yeah.
Friend of the pod.
Call you later, Jen.
Yeah, I think that because that's a creative part of I don't know, so it'd be cool to hear somebody talk about their experience in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows a theater person, send them our way. Preferably super famous and super queer, or a gay icon like Jennifer Coolidge.
I would die. I would die if she just showed up on her Riverside screen.
And recording here live in my studio. Oh my god.
Oh my god, so funny.
Oh.
Well, I think we probably should wrap just because
I'm so hungry.
Yeah, the day
Help.
is getting on. But thanks for listening and hearing us ramble about things.
It was a one, yeah. But there was so much passion.
There was a lot of passion.
So we know it brings you back to the pod. Thanks for listening.
Yes, subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on things. All of those things help people find us, rate us, review us, all those things. Share it with friends, people that you think might like it. And
share it with enemies.
Yes, preferably mostly enemies. Yeah, well, toodles, possums.
Toodles.
Bye.